Beyond the Gates time, let's get into it. Since I missed yesterday, I'm about to catch up off the early morning. So Andre and Dani are chatting at home, and Andre's about to open up about his mired past or whatever is going on when Chelsea barges in. See, this is why Hayley and Bill were like, call before you come. But Chelsea bursts in and she's like, you were right, Mom. And Dani said, I know I was about right. And Chelsea says, Hayley. Randy and Hayley are meeting up at Uptown, and Randy is not pleased to hear that Bill and Hayley are not on a plane to St. Bart's because that was the plan. And Hayley's like, I have this, I have this. Have I ever let us down yet? Randy's like, yeah, whatever. Get him on the plane. There are too many people here who actually care about him. And Hayley is just not listening per usual. Bill and Caroline are at the office, and Caroline brings up to Bill that she and Chelsea chatted last evening, and Chelsea is concerned that Hayley is not giving Bill enough attention. And so Caroline is just asking Bill, is everything okay with you and Hayley? And Bill is getting his boxers in a bunch. He's like, oh, you think I don't know what's going on in my own life? Do you think I'm blind to things? I'm Bill Hamilton. No one gets over on me yet. Hayley is. But Caroline is not trying to be messy or anything. She genuinely cares about Bill, and she was like, does Chelsea have a point? Next, we see Nicole calling Carlton and offering to finish their conversation without Leslie this time. And he says, sure, how about Orphe Jeans now? So Nicole is about to head over there. And then we see Leslie, who has summoned Ted to the country club. And he's like, what? What do you want now? And Leslie tells him that our daughter is drowning and she needs your support. Is that emergency enough? So Chelsea fills Dani and Andre in on her conversation with Caroline. And Dani's like, Caroline's all right, but we can't trust her 100% because, she's basically loyal to Bill and herself above anybody else. Then we see Caroline and Bill still talking, and Caroline is like, do you think Hayley is cheating on you? And Bill's like, of course not. There is an age difference, and with all of my health issues, he understands that could be a factor, but he doesn't think Hayley is cheating on him. And then Caroline was like, are you guys even happy anymore? And Bill was like, now watch your mouth. I know we have gotten close over the years, but I'm not going to have this conversation with you, and I'm not going to have it again. Understood? Yes, sir. And he goes on about his way. Randy is pressing Hayley. He's bringing up some past lick that went wrong. Someone named Sid. And he was like, look, we are going to talk about it, because Hayley was like, this is nothing like that. So basically whatever went wrong, and Sid almost killed Hayley. So now she only goes over or after men who have something to lose. And she reassures Randy that she is going to get her husband on that plane. But Randy thinks that Hayley has gotten arrogant again, and she has tunnel vision, and she's basically slipping. So he does not want Hayley to blow this. Oh, and the only reason why she was saved from Sid, whoever this was because of Lynette, who I still don't think is dead. Bill angrily calls Chelsea, and he is like, I need you to meet me at the club. And she's like, oh, what is it for? And he's like, I'll see you soon. Click. Dani is laughing because she is like, Carolyn 100% threw you under the bus. Good luck. So Chelsea heads to the club, and then Dani tries to pick up the conversation that she and Andre were having earlier about his past, but he kind of deflects a little bit, like, oh, don't you have that meeting with Tatum? And she's like, oh crap, I do. But nothing in your past can shake me, basically. I accept you for who you are. You should. You done cheated on the man. So Andre seems relieved now, but let's see. Leslie wants Ted to do something about this scar that Eva has. She said it makes Eva feel like a monster, and Ted is like, this just comes with the territory. There's not much he can do, and Eva is a living, breathing miracle, and her mind just needs to catch up with that. And Leslie keeps pressing, but Ted is like, I'm sorry, I can't do anything in this situation. And Leslie's like, what good is it having a plastic surgeon as a daddy if you won't do anything? And Ted's like, my hands are tied, I can't do anything. Side note, real quick, before we get into the rest of this drama, y'all know I had to put on some hair before I recorded this video. And this is one of my absolute favorite wigs from Amazon. It's a U-part wig. It is super affordable and the quality is beautiful. As you can see, people always think this is my hair. It is not. So if you want the exact link to this wig, check out my link tree. It is highly promoted on there with a great big picture. You can't miss it. You could also get the other items that I use to just lay down my hair, some makeup, some lip gloss, etc. So yeah, grab yours today and let's get back into the drama. Back at Uptown, Hayley and Randy are going over the plan, so she still needs to get him to St. Bart's. She's gonna poison him as soon as they land, basically. Then she's going to call Randy's guy to have Bill cremated without an autopsy, and this guy is gonna give them a death certificate. Then Hayley's gonna call the family and just say that Bill's heart stopped and she's too heartbroken to come back. And then she's gonna enjoy her $5 million while she's in St. Bart's, never to return. And then Randy's gonna get his $5 million through some offshore accounts or whatever. So Randy's like, that sounds perfect. And he's warning Hayley not to get greedy because she was also talking about some of the other, like their joint accounts and things like that. And Randy's like, no, stick to the plan. And if you do, that sounds perfect. At Orphe Jeans, Carlton is basically saying, I know my worth. This arrangement is not working because it is very familiar for what he experienced with Ted because he wanted Nicole first. And Carlton is just not feeling the fact that he and Kyle work together and he don't want to deal with this. So he said, if this is gonna work, I need you to put me first. Hayley calls the office and she starts talking to Caroline. She is telling Caroline that she and Bill are going to St. Bart's and please clear his schedule. And Caroline was like, do you think it's wise for Bill to be traveling? And Hayley was like, Caroline, clear the damn schedule. Who are you talking to? But Caroline's like, okay. Hayley was like, oh, I'm sorry. As you can see, I'm under stress and I desperately need a vacation, me and Bill. So can you please clear the schedule? Then over at the country club, Chelsea arrives and Bill wastes zero time going in on her. It's like, you basically run into the assistant. That is inappropriate. If you have a problem, you need to come to me. And Chelsea was like, we have. You basically won't listen. And she's like, Hayley is not the person who you think she is. And she is playing you. Dani runs into Randy at Uptown and she was like, I know what you and Hayley are up to, and I love it. Keep doing what you're doing and wear her out. And Randy was like, what are you talking? Like, we are not having an affair or anything like that. And Dani was like, sure you're not Randy, or is it Sammy? So again, Dani is like, I'm pleased, whatever, and enjoy your meal. So Chelsea is giving Bill all this tea, how Anita saw Hayley with Kyle Abbott, how several people have seen Hayley with Randy or Sammy, and Bill is just like, no. And Chelsea was like, open your freaking eyes. I mean, she had no problem gallivanting around the town with you when y'all were cheating, and he was like, watch your mouth. But Chelsea is right. Bill just walks off. He was like, he doesn't need anyone to tell him about his marriage, not Chelsea, not Carolyn, not anybody, and he leaves. And Chelsea's just sitting there like, this poor little Tink Tink, he is so stupid. Teddy Weddy went. off. So Leslie is still trying to force Ted to perform a surgery on Eva to address these scars because Eva feels maimed. She doesn't feel like herself. She's losing confidence, and Leslie is spiraling per usual. And Ted is explaining, he basically reiterated the same thing that Carlton told Eva the other day. It's too soon. The scar needs to heal completely before they even consider anything else. And Ted's like, I have worked really hard to establish a relationship with Eva. I'm not going to ruin it by lying to her, giving her false hope. And this is why emotional therapy is very important, even more so than the physical plastic surgery of it all. Leslie cannot stand to hear this. She has the unmitigated gall to tell Ted that he is a disgrace as a father. And she gets up to storm off, and Ted was like, you don't get to walk away anymore. I have something else to say. Sit down. She don't sit down at first. He was like, sit down. The woman in the back at the country club. He shocked me. I sat back down. I like a strong man like that. Andre runs into Chelsea at the country club, and they talk about the Bill Hayley situation. And Andre was like, Bill has an ego and this is his wife. He's also a defense attorney. So not to be on Bill's side, but this is his MO, just to defend, because Chelsea is upset that Bill wouldn't even listen to what she had to say. But, Chelsea feels how she feels, and Andre is just like, it is what it is. Then we see Bill stumbling into his house. He is having like blurred vision as Hayley, she's pretending to be on a phone call, but she can see Bill like almost passing out at the door, and she just plays it off, and she says, oh, I called the office, and Carolyn said you were talking to Chelsea. How did that go? And then Bill starts telling this heifer everything. Oh, Chelsea thinks you cheating on me with Sammy. And Hayley's like, what? Her angry face. Nasty Nikki lets Carlton down gently, She was like, I was flattered that you still pursued me or wanted to pursue me after this divorce. You're a great man, but I am not ready to be steady with you. And Carlton said, he's disappointed, but he had prepared himself for that answer. But he also asks, I just need to know one thing. Why Kyle and not me? Leslie continues to work Ted's nerve. She is refusing logic. We're not surprised there. Ted thinks that Eva needs psychiatric or not therapy. Health, mental health. She was like, what? Are you calling Eva crazy? No. Ted is like, no, I did not call her crazy because Leslie was going to run and tell Eva that. And then Leslie is like, she's going to find another doctor. Perhaps it'll be Carlton, since he's good enough to keep Nicole company. I'm sure he'll be good enough for me too. Now, what does that have to do? And then she gets up and leaves, and Ted lets her leave this time. Let her go. What does her talking to Carlton have to do with anything? I mean, I know she's talking about, getting consultation from Carlton, but Eva already did that unbeknownst to you, and you bringing up the... So the rest of the conversation with Carlton and Nicole goes well. Adios, Carlton. We're done with that. Did she really answer the question? Because he was like, from my standpoint, it just looks like you don't want to be tied to me. And, she tries to clean that up, but he's just like, I'm just trying to give you my perspective as a friend. And she's like, are we still friends? Woman, that'll never change. How y'all be friends with people, y'all? I don't get it. That's just not me, because I just feel like you were no longer friends once you crossed that threshold, and I don't understand how. Whatever. But they ended on a good note, and I guess we're done seeing Carlton the snake. All right. So apparently, this is the 1 year anniversary of Hayley and Bill losing their child. Losing their child. And this is a reason why Bill left work early. He figured Hayley could use a little more love today. And she continues to play her Oscar worthy role per usual. Oh, I can't win with those girls. And oh, you remembered, and that this is why I need to go. I need to get out of here, Bill. We need to go to St. Bart's. And I can see Bill considering it. He is so pee-whipped. It is ridiculous. So Dani is at her meeting with Tatum, and it's going really well. Tatum was like, I want some of your feedback on some of the designs. And Dani was like hesitant at first, but then they really get into it. And Tatum was like, wow, I knew your husband had an eye. You also have it, and you guys are quite the couple. And Dani says, yes, we are. I know it's about to go left. So Andre and Chelsea are wrapping up their conversation when Andre gets a text from an unknown number saying that they want to see him soon, and he is shook. And Chelsea was like, are you okay? You act like you've seen a ghost. And he just stands there staring. So let's see what happens later today. I want to see who this person is.